DC Weather Lab. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, the heat is going to stay on locally. Meanwhile, it's all about Tropical Storm Florence, a very weak tropical storm, and continues to weaken. Should become a depression tomorrow, but look at this swirl. Those big, heavy-duty rain bands continue to pound portions of North Carolina, where more than 2 feet of rainfall has fallen, and in spots, another 10 to 15 more. So more catastrophic flooding through tomorrow, maybe beyond that, as this system has been a slow mover, just moving at a couple of miles an hour generally to the west. I think it's going to start to make a little bit more of a turn eventually to the northwest and then to the north over the next 24 to 36 hours. More on Florence in just a bit. Meanwhile, locally across the Bayou State, it was a hot one. Temperature got up to 96 in Lafayette, 97 in New Iberia, which was a record, and that heat index was as high as 108 we saw in Lafayette. Some spots maybe a degree or two hotter than that. Tomorrow, I do think we'll see clouds a little bit earlier in the day, but still the risk of afternoon storms, but another hot one indeed. Now, after we left you at 6 o'clock this evening, there were some pretty active storms across the coastal areas. Then we saw new activity firing up across the Chaffalaya Basin, allowed for a nice light show as the activity was moving southwestward. Now things are quieting down, and we're just seeing some patchy light rain from the southern portions of St. Landry, western upper St. Martin Parish, and into Lafayette Parish. Still some nice little sprinkles down toward the Youngsville area, also Broussard by the Lafayette Airport, but activity light and falling apart and should be all done with by midnight tonight. So as we look at the infrared imagery, you can see Florence there to your right. To your left is that tropical disturbance that has been producing flooding conditions across portions of South Texas from Corpus Christi area on westward this evening into Mexico. We were fortunate we missed out on that system, and I think we're going to miss out on the remnants of Isaac as well. We'll talk more about that in just a bit, but still got a couple of systems that we're tracking way in the northeast Atlantic, not even in the tropical Atlantic. We have Joyce that's going to die out in the Atlantic, and then Tropical Storm Helene is eventually going to affect the UK, especially Ireland, Scotland, not as a tropical system, but as a 50 or 60 mile an hour storm. And then, of course, we have Florence here and the remnants of Isaac, only a 20% chance of that system redeveloping. But first off, you can see with Florence on the enhancement, look at these rain bands just lurking offshore and along the coast. So more heavy rainfall on tap there, and you can almost track the eye pretty nicely right here west of Myrtle Beach. Maybe in the last couple of frames you can see it was moving westward or west-southwestward. Now it looks like maybe a little bit of a northwesterly turn out of that west, but the bottom line, it's moving so slow, so the rainfall is going to be Harvey-like, perhaps in spots up to 40 inches for a storm total possible through at least Monday. And again, it's going to be a long couple of more days for our friends there. Meanwhile, farther to the south, we have the remnants of Isaac downgraded to just a tropical low earlier today. This area of low pressure is not going to do a whole lot. In fact, we don't think there's going to be any kind of positive influences that would allow this to redevelop. Although the tropical models, you can kind of track where the low or the tropical wave is going to be, and then they kind of lose it. All models, all the dynamical models show no regeneration, so we're not concerned with that. The National Hurricane Center currently giving it just a 20% chance of redeveloping, and I don't even think we're going to see the tropical moisture from this system. And don't pay attention to these lines. Notice how most of the lines stop right here. That means the models pretty much lose any semblance of what that system was. So we can see that moisture here as we go through early next week through Tuesday, and that tropical moisture kind of gets splintered, goes down to Mexico. Some may get into the Gulf of Mexico, but bottom line for us, it looks like the same pattern going toward the end of the next week into the following weekend. Maybe lower rain chances, but what happened to that front that we were talking about? Not on the map right now. May have to wait several more weeks before we see a front that shows up consistently on the computer models. That's when we'll go for that nice cool front. In the near term, no cool fronts. Another hot one. We start off mostly sunny tomorrow, and then with daytime heating, we'll start to see showers and storms forming up mainly after 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Best bet on rain chances about 5 to about 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, and then we do it all over again, repeat and rinse as we head into Monday with late afternoon, early evening showers and storms. Otherwise, it's that hot forecast, mid-90s again tomorrow, and that heat index getting up there once once again during the high afternoon heating, right during the Saints game, so stay indoors for that. And then after that, we'll be cooling down just a little bit. So another hot one tomorrow. Heat indices up to 105 with that temperature at 95. Rain chance about 30, maybe 40% tomorrow afternoon. Much the same for Monday. And as we go through next week, more summer-like temperatures for the last official week of summer. And then going into next weekend, I've dropped the rain chances down for now, and it looks like highs will stay near 90 for the foreseeable future. One model late tonight, Chris, was showing a front around October 1st.